Welcome. Today we are going to analyze the English portion of our GATE question paper. Are you ready? Can you see the screen properly? There are questions from 27 onwards to 44, I think. 65, sorry. There are many quotations. He who is able to live in society or who has no need because he is sufficient for himself must be either a beast or God. Who gave this statement? Now, it is Aristotle. Guys, always I am reminding you, look up in Google Aristotle major quotes, Plato major quotes, T.S. Eliot major quotes. For all major writers, look up their quotations and read through it, save it, because this is there in Google. Easily you can find out. This is directly from Google. So important quotations from Google you should read, okay? This is Aristotle's famous quote saying that man is part of society. Without society, man cannot live. So will you check out online quote sites, guys? Next, history is not made only in statecraft. History is not only about statecraft. Statecraft means politics. Its lasting results are produced in the ranks of learned men. Obviously, statecraft and politics cannot be in 30 days in September. It cannot be 30 days in September. It may not be silence courtesan session. It has to be Tughlaq or Muktadhara. Both these are political. And it is Tughlaq. They will always check whether you know something about the text, whether you have read the text. Okay, so it is Tughlaq. Tughlaq is a political play. It is about the Delhi Sultanate. Tughlaq is trying to move the capital of Delhi Sultanate from Delhi to Daulatabad and back. Yes. Next, who among the following popularized the term objective correlative, which is used in formalist criticism? Of course, it is T.S. Eliot. What is objective correlative? Objective correlative is like a symbol. It is a set of objects or a chain of events that stand in for a particular emotion. Instead of a particular emotion, instead of verbally saying it, you should represent it symbolically using objective correlative. In order to show grief, you can show rain, for example. Objective correlative was originally coined by Washington Allston. Which of the following critics preferred Shakespeare's comedies to his tragedies? Bolo, which of the following critics preferred Shakespeare's comedies to his tragedies? It is very famous that it is Samuel Johnson. It is Samuel Johnson. Why did he say that, guys? Samuel Johnson said that tragedies are less important, comedies are more important. Because comedies give pleasure from thought, language, expression. Tragedies give pleasure only because of action. Unlike the tragedies, comedies have not changed. They have not changed because of time. Comedies have remained the same. Remember, Dr. Johnson thought that comedies of Shakespeare are more enduring than tragedies. Okay? So tragedies give pleasure because of action, whereas comedies give pleasure, according to Johnson, because of thought, language, and felicity of expression. And comedies have not changed in time. Tragedies have changed. Will you remember? Who among the following has been credited with laying the foundation of comparative literature? Who laid the foundation of comparative literature? Do you know, guys? He is a very important figure in comparative literature. I think I should make a video on comparative literature, Hannah. When I saw this question, I thought, yes, I know what to teach now. I should make a video on comparative literature. Alexander Veselowski. Correct. Alexander Veselowski. Lyrical Ballads is considered to be the manifesto of romantic poetry. That is very easy. It was first published in the year, yes, Paulami, I am doing this because you asked me. Lyrical Ballads was, of course, first published in the year 1798. Lyrical Ballads was published, second edition was published in 1800 with a small preface. The big preface came in 1802. Okay, question number 33. Identify the work. This is there in our material. This is directly from our material. In a universe that is suddenly deprived of illusions and of light, man feels a stranger. He is an irremediable exile. This divorce between man and his life, the actor and his setting, truly constitutes the feeling of absurdity. Of course, the concept of absurdity was discussed by Albert Camus in The Myth of Sisyphus. This occurs in the beginning itself. Yes, I will share this question paper, of course. I will share this in Telegram group, okay? These lines occur at the beginning of Myth of Sisyphus. Listen, guys. Albert Camus begins by talking about how what we want is different from what we get from the universe. What we want from the universe is one thing, what we get from the universe is another thing. Because of this conflict, we feel like life is meaningless. And we feel absurdity. Then Albert Camus is thinking, because of absurdity, will we commit suicide? He is talking about suicide. At the beginning of Myth of Sisyphus, he is talking about suicide. Because life is meaningless. Does that lead one to commit suicide? So absurdity as a concept, a philosophical concept, was first discussed by Albert Camus in The Myth of Sisyphus. What does gynocriticism recommend as an approach to literature? Considering women's literature from men's point of view. No. From men's point of view, wrong. That is feminist critique. Elaine Showalter called it feminist critique. Then, Examining women's literature, confirming gender stereotypes. No. Examining women's literature, supporting or confirming gender stereotypes is wrong. Becoming more familiar with the history of women and women's writing. Correct. More familiar with history of women and women's writing. Correct. Becoming more familiar with gerontology, matlab signs of aging. People grow old, na? Gerontology means signs of aging. Nahi, wo to bakwas hai. Gynocriticism has nothing to do with it. It's only C. Correct, guys? C is the answer. C is the answer. Next question. This is easy. Identify the novel which opens thus. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom. It was the age of foolishness. It was the epoch of belief. It was the epoch of incredulity. Ye kya hai bolo? It is showing disorder in life. This is a very dystopian world where both are there, or disordered world, dystopian, disordered world, where good and bad are both there. It is Charles Dickens's A Tale of Two Cities. A Tale of Two Cities. Which of the following terms does not form a part of 7 types of ambiguities? Simulacra, metaphor, pun, simile. Of course, simulacra is not William Emerson. It is Jean Baudrillard. Simulacra is a concept propounded by Jean Baudrillard. The first type of ambiguity is a metaphor. Metaphor, pun, simile. These are all related to ambiguity. When 2 or more meanings are there, metaphor, pun, simile comes. Simulacra is the answer. Simulacra was not, that concept was not there in the time of William Emerson. Alright. Now, which of the following poems have been influenced by Hindu philosophy? Bolo, Hindu philosophy. Solitary Reaper में तो नहीं है. Brahma, yes. Brahma by Emerson, yes. The Curse of Kahama is about an evil priest wanting to be God. It is based on Hindu mythology as well as Zoroastrian mythology, means Parsi. Simulacra is not Baudelaire, it is Baudrillard. Simulacra. Baudrillard, Baudrillard. Simulacra, Baudrillard. Baudrillard. So now guys, Brahma and Curse of Kahama both have Hindu. Brahma is by Emerson. Curse of Kahama is by Robert Sade. Robert Sade. Okay, next question. Which of the following human behavior or behaviors is important to a Freudian psychoanalytical study of Hamlet? Remember, Freud did a study of Hamlet. So did Ernest Jones. The art of speaking, changes in emotional states, neurotic behavior, merrymaking. So no, this is MSQ. You should choose more than one answer. More than one answer. Changes in emotional state तो है, neurotic behavior भी है. Remember, Hamlet is mad. He has changes in emotional states. Sometimes he is depressed, sometimes he is happy. neurotic behavior. Hamlet's madness has been compared to B hai na, B hai. Why are you choosing only C? B and C is the answer. Hamlet's madness has been compared to schizophrenia, bipolar disorder. Hamlet is suffering from delusion, depression. Did you know, guys? It can be said that Hamlet's greatest enemy is his own mind. Hamlet's greatest enemy is his own mind. Have you heard that? So now, next one. Which of the following author-novel combinations is or are correct? Art of speaking is wrong because Hamlet is not speaking to anybody properly. I mean, it has nothing to do with Freud. Art of speaking, when did Freud talk about it? Tell me. When did Freud talk about art of speaking? Why are you putting things into Freud's mouth? And also, Hamlet does not have art of speaking. Hamlet does not have art of speaking. Tahmina, screen is blurred because you have to increase your resolution. Where shall I go this summer? Where shall we go this summer? Is not Jane Austen, it is Anita Desai. A passage to England. I will increase the size. Can you see now? A passage to England is Neeraj C. Chowdhury, correct. The Mayor of Casterbridge is Thomas Hardy, correct. Pride and Prejudice is not Anita Desai. Can you see the screen now? Okay. Which of the following statements is or are correct about phenomenology? I can't increase this one. It is a form of methodological idealism, seeking to explore an abstraction called human consciousness. Correct. Human consciousness is very much about phenomenology. Phenomenology says that the human consciousness creates meaning. The human consciousness creates meaning, correct. It is a philosophical method associated with Edmund Husserl. Second one also correct. Second one here, correct. Third one, it believes that the act of thinking and the object of thought, we are thinking and there is the object of thought, they are internally related, mutually dependent. Correct. Heidegger's Being and Time is an important phenomenological treatise supporting the stand of Husserl is wrong. He is critiquing Husserl. He is not supporting A, B, C. Act of thinking and object of thought are mutually dependent. It is our thinking that creates the thought and vice versa. Correct. Then, this is easy. Chitra Divakarani's The Mistress of Spices is dash. Look at this. Chitra Divakarani's The Mistress of Spices is it an experiment in magical realism? Correct. It is a very important book of magic realism. Is it about immigrant experience? Correct. It is about immigrant experience. Is it science fiction? No. Science fiction nahi hai. It is magic realism. Epistolary novel also no. A and B only. Experiment in magic realism है, immigrant experience भी है. What is the story? Tilo or Tilotama is an immortal woman who is trapped in an old woman's body. And she's an old woman who is able to cure people. She gives spices as curatives. And then she falls in love with a handsome young man called Doug. She falls in love with Doug. Which of the following is correct about postmodern critics? Listen, guys. Which of the following is correct about postmodern critics? They foreground fiction. Even reality is fiction, correct. And exemplify disappearance of the real, correct. They show that even reality is fiction. They foreground fiction and show that there is no reality. They exemplify disappearance of the real. They foreground irony, correct. They tend towards reflexivity is wrong. It is the postmodern authors. It is the postmodern authors who tend toward reflexivity. Postmodern critics don't tend toward reflexivity. They challenge the distinction between high and low cultures is also correct. They challenge the distinction between high and low cultures is correct. So C is wrong. A, B and D. A, B and D. They challenge distinction between high and low cultures is correct. Next question. The literary theory of deconstruction. The literary theory of deconstruction argues that texts are always heterogeneous, correct. Texts are always heterogeneous is correct. The meaning of a text never relies on context. That is wrong. Meaning is generated by the context. Meaning never relies on context is wrong. Any system for the production of meaning may be bound by context, yet also limitless. Any production of meaning may be bound by context. See, dekho. Any system of production of meaning may be bound by context. Correct. Yet also limitless. Correct. Correct. A and C correct. Texts are always rigid in meaning is wrong. Texts are always rigid in meaning is wrong. Heterogeneous correct. C is also correct. This is correct, dekho. This is correct. Can you see? This is also correct. Texts are always heterogeneous. Okay, so A and C. In the context of reader response theory, Louis M. Rosenblatt wrote an essay, The Poem as Events. There, she says, a reader should participate in a transaction with the text. A reader should participate in a transaction. I already explained B, Nimisha. You didn't pay attention. Now everybody will have to be disrupted. Meaning of a text never relies on context is wrong. The option C is an explanation of option B. Option B is wrong. It always relies on context. Now, in the context of reader response theory, Louise M. Rosenblatt, what did she say in the poem as event? Please pay attention. What is correct according to reader response theory? Dekho. The reader should participate in a transaction with the text. The reader and the text are in a transaction. Correct? The reader should act against the text. That is not right. Why would the reader act against the text? That is not right. The reader will be acted upon by the text. May be true. The reader rejects the text. Wrong. D is definitely wrong. B is also wrong. C may be right. Answer is A is absolutely right. C is also right. The reader is acted upon by the text. That is also right. Will you remember? A and C are right. Louis Rosenblatt says the reader has to participate in a transaction with the text. The reader has to participate in a transaction with the text. And the reader may be acted upon by the text. Are you getting me? A and C are right. Now, Roland Barthe in his famous essay, The Death of the Author. Listen guys. What is true about Roland Barthe? Believes that the text is to be interpreted in the biographical context. Absolutely wrong. The text is to be interpreted in the biographical context is absolutely wrong. He will not say that. Death of the author is not about biographical context. Wrong. Then challenges the author's claim as cogito or origin of all knowledge. The word cogito comes from René Descartes. René Descartes said cogito ergo sum. That means I think, therefore I am. The confidence of the author as the origin of meaning, René Descartes talks about. Roland Barthe challenges it is correct. Listen everybody, Roland Barthe challenges the author's claim as cogito or author as origin of all knowledge. Okay, it is correct. Roland Barthe, so B is correct. Roland Barthe believes that the author has sole claim to his work. Wrong. The author is dead. He has no claim to his work. The author is dead. He has no claim to his work. That is wrong. Author has sole claim is wrong. Then he concludes that an author is an atypical product of his social milieu. Wrong. Is a typical product. Author is a typical is correct. Atypical is wrong. Did you understand? The author is an atypical, product is wrong, na? That means author is unique. I don't think so. Now, what is common among the following novels? Cormac McCarthy's The Road. It is a famous movie. Did you watch it? Father and Son. Dystopian. George Orwell's 1984 also dystopian. Margaret Atwood's Handmaid's Tale also dystopian. They are examples of utopian fiction is wrong. They are examples of dystopian fiction is correct. They present an idealistic picture of the world. Wrong. They are not idealistic. They present a very unidealistic picture. They abound in pleasant descriptions. Wrong. Pleasant descriptions of landscape, all wrong. Only B is answer. Dystopian novels. Only B is the answer. Did you get that, guys? Match the following authors with their pseudonyms. George Eliot, everybody knows, is the pseudonym of Mary Ann Evans. Sylvia Plath, ulta ho gaya. Sylvia Plath should come here. Victoria Lucas. Ulta hai, dekho. Mary Ann Evans has given a pseudonym here. Ayyo, gate people got it wrong. Did you see the mistake in the question? H.H. Munro is Saki. Charlotte Bronte is Karar Bell. ठीक है? Got it? George Eliot, Mary Ann Evans. Sylvia Plath, Victoria Lucas in Bell Jar. H.H. Munro, Saki. Charlotte Bronte, Currer Bell. Then, this literary mode parallels the flouting of authority. Listen carefully. I will highlight the important terms, then you will understand. Flouting means rejection. This literary mode parallels the flouting of authority. That is important. Flouting of authority. Then, inversion of social hierarchies. Dekho, inversion of social hierarchies. Mingling of voices from diverse social levels. They mock and subvert authority. Mock and subvert authority. Then, ribaldry. Array Princey, all that is there in our books and materials. Profaning. So what is it? Carnivalesque. All the key words, if you identify, you will understand it is carnivalesque by Bakhtin. Then, post-colonial perspectives emerge from the colonial testimony of third world countries and the discourses of minorities within East and West, North and South. They intervene in those ideological discourses of modernity that attempt to give a hegemonic normality to uneven development and the differential and often disadvantaged histories of nations, races, communities and people. One important thing you should know is Homi K. Bhabha writes about literary theory in a very complicated manner. Post-colonial perspectives emerged from colonial testimony of third world countries. Discourses of minorities. He is saying that post-colonial perspectives comes from the minorities. They intervene in the ideological discourses, giving a hegemonic normality. Hegemony is a very important term in Bhabha, and it is Homi K. Bhabha's location of culture. Then the next one is interesting and easy. Wrapped, twirling in thy hand a withered spray, waiting for the spark from heaven to fall. That's a very famous phrase from Spark from Heaven. That's a very famous phrase from Scholar Gypsy by Matthew Arnold. Happiness was but the occasional episode. That is from Thomas Hardy's Mayor of Casterbridge. Now, Shakespeare one gets acquainted with without knowing how. You know, this is from Mansfield Park. In Mansfield Park, Henry Crawford is reading out Shakespeare's Henry VIII to Fanny, Edmund and Lady Bertram. And he is reading very dramatically, impersonating the characters. It is Henry VIII play that he is reading in Jane Austen's Mansfield Park. So this about Shakespeare, it is from Mansfield Park. It is as natural to die as to be born. That is from Bacon's Of Death. It is as natural to die as to be born. Guys, important quotations from Bacon like that. Google search karo, okay? Whatever I am saying is written on my sari. I am saying this. Say, did you see? Say this, it is written. I am saying this, guys. You should look up in the internet important quotations by major writers. Okay, next. Which of the following statements is the most appropriate in the context of Francois de Eubon's concept of ecofeminism? How do you define ecofeminism? It is a revolution by women against men. Ayyo, wrong. It is a revolution by women against men is wrong. It is a philosophical idea to counter the oppression of women by men as similar to the oppression of nature by men. Correct. Hey, this is correct. It is a philosophical idea. Okay, guys, I want to say this. That ecofeminism is a philosophical idea to counter the oppression of women by men as similar to the oppression and destruction of nature by men. It is a term used to describe how the human race could be saved by men. Wrong. It is a term used to describe the interface between women and technology. Wrong. Easy it is. Which of the following books is considered one of the sources behind T.S. Eliot's poem The Wasteland? Easy, Hannah. William James's Principles of Psychology. Wrong. Jessie Western's From Ritual to Romance. Right. Also, James Fraser's The Golden Bough. Franz Kafka's Metamorphosis is wrong. Sigmund Freud's interpretation of dreams is also wrong. Got it, guys? Now, the people who believe most that listen, this is only an English language question. It's easy. The people who believe most that our greatness and welfare are proved by our being rich. Some people believe that our greatness and welfare are proved by our being rich. They give their lives and thoughts to becoming rich. Such are the very people whom we call Philistines. Matthew Arnold is attacking the Philistines. Which of the following can be inferred from this statement? Greatness of people lies in their being rich and prosperous. No. He is not saying that rich and prosperous people are great. No. This is wrong. First one is wrong. Can you see, guys? Are you able to read? Greatness of people lies in being rich and prosperous is wrong. Material prosperity is not the true criterion of a nation's achievement is right. Material prosperity is not the true criterion of a nation's achievement is right. Philistines are great people. Wrong. Philistines are great people is wrong. Arnold thinks very high of himself is also wrong. Wrong. Anagnorisis as used by Aristotle stands for what? Anagnorisis stands for the hero's recognition of his tragic flaw, the hero's ignorance about his tragic flaw, the hero's recognition of his adversary, hero's rejection of his tragic end. Bolo. It is the hero's recognition of his tragic flaw. Anagnorisis is recognition. It is recognition that, oh my God, I made a mistake. Hero's recognition, oh my God. It is not adversary. There is no adversary or anything. This is absolutely wrong. Who is the adversary? There is no adversary. It is a recognition of himself. A recognition of his own mistake. Only one is the answer. Okay, these are all very common sense questions. You can easily answer if you study a little bit. Which of the following thinkers do not belong to existentialism? Jean-Paul Sartre. Is Jean-Paul Sartre existentialist? Bolo. Jean-Paul Sartre is yes existentialist. Albert Camus bolo yes. Roland Barthe तो नहीं है. Soren Kierkegaard is religious existentialist. So answer is Roland Barthe. Okay. If you pay for paid classes, there is Telegram group now. In Telegram group you get everything. You have to have Telegram or WhatsApp. Which you have to have Telegram in any case. You have to take connection. Which of the following statements is or are closely associated with fetishism? What is fetishism? It is generally defined as an act of paying excessive attention or attributing mystical ability to any inanimate thing. Correct. Fetishism means excessive attention to something or mystical ability something. It is related to Western theories of aesthetics, economics and psychology. Correct hai? Fetishism is there in aesthetics, economics and psychology. That I didn't know. I learned today. It is used to infer to religious objects. Correct. Religious fetish is there. Some plants have fetish. Religious fetish is there. It is generally used to describe Gothic expressionism is absolutely wrong. That is wrong. Why does the thin grey strand floating up from the forgotten cigarette between my fingers, why does it trouble me? You will understand. When I carried my mother downstairs, a few times only at the beginning of her soft foot malady, I should find for a reprimand to my gaiety a few long grey hairs on the breast of my coat. And one by one, I watched them float up the dark chimney. This is a very famous poem by D.H. Lawrence called Sorrow. Very famous poem by D.H. Lawrence. Sorrow. It is written in the process of grieving for the poet's mother, correct? It is an autobiographical poem, correct? It is a symbolic poem, correct? It is a poem of youthful celebration is absolutely wrong. It is a poem of youthful celebration is wrong. This is a poem of grief. Hello Arif, welcome to our community. Now guys, which of the given examples of rhetorical devices is correctly paired? Are you ready guys? Rhetorical device. What is man, that art thou mindful of him? What is man, that thou art mindful of him? What is man, then thou art mindful of him? There is no paradox there. Truth makes the greatest libel. No, it is not personification. That is also wrong. Reading furnishes the mind only with material of knowledge. It is thinking makes what we read ours. That is antithesis. Yes, one opposite is the second part of the sentence. First part is one saying one thing, opposite is another. Then, it is a truth universally acknowledged that a single man in possession of a good fortune must be in want of a wife. Of course, it is irony. So, C and D are correct. C is correct, D is correct. It's easy. C and D are obviously correct. It is an irony showing how marriage becomes important. As per the distinctions made by Toril Moy regarding the terms feminist, female and feminine, I have taught this in the criticism course. Same thing I have taught. Feminist is politics. Female is biological. Feminine is cultural. That is what Toril Moy said. Feminist is political. Feminist means power, politics. Female is biological. Feminine is cultural. Okay. Then, which of the following authors has won Booker Prize twice? J.G. Farrell got Booker and lost Booker. Peter Carey got Booker Prize for Oscar and Lucinda and True History of the Kelly Gang. J.G. Farrell and Peter Carey. Okay. Next, This question is actually an English language question. If you know English language, you can answer it. Nothing feels normal to Ashima. It is not so much the pain which she will survive. Its consequence. Motherhood in a foreign land, unmonitored by those she loves. Ashima, this is from the namesake. Ashima is alone in a foreign land. She is terrified to raise a child in a country where she knows so little, where life seems so tentative and spare. That is the namesake. What does this mean? Ashima feels isolated in the new world. Correct. Ashima feels isolated in the new world is correct. Ashima should have been surrounded by her own people. Correct. Ashima is facing a cultural shock. Correct. Ashima is able to adapt herself to an alien culture is wrong. Last one is absolutely wrong. Others are correct. A, B, C correct. Last one is wrong. Henna. Then, Jean Baudrillard, a postmodern thinker, has suggested that a sign refers to other signs. Okay. He has given 4 stages of sign. Yes. Which are these also I teach. Correct. Exactly like this I teach in criticism class. There is a criticism and theory course that is already over, but you will get the videos lifetime access. You will get everything there. I wish you join because these are all there in criticism and theory course. Which are the 4 stages? The first stage is the first stage is the sign is exactly what is reality. First stage according to Baudrillard is sign is exactly what is reality. Second stage is this. The sign misrepresents or distorts the reality behind it. This is the second stage. Third stage is sign disguises the fact that there is no corresponding reality. Fourth is this. The sign bears no relation to any reality. This is nonsense. This is not there. The sign is always peripheral, is not there. This is not there. What are the 4 stages of the sign according to Baudrillard? First is sign is exactly the same as reality. Second is sign misrepresents or distorts reality. Third is sign disguises the fact that there is no corresponding reality. Fourth is sign bears no relation to any reality. Did you understand? Then, which of the following applies the term parapraxis? Parapraxis is the Freudian term for, that also I taught in criticism and theory course. Only 1000 rupees, you get every criticism and every theory for lifetime. What prevents you from taking the course, guys? You can keep it for lifetime, only 1000 rupees. Nowhere in the world you will get all theories and criticism and everything in PDF and video for 1000 rupees. I think every single person in YouTube should take it because it is the cheapest and the best ever. All this is there. Parapraxis is Freudian slip. Easy. So it is used in connection with Marxist interpretation is wrong. Marxist interpretation is not there. That is not parapraxis. Wrong. It refers to an error in speech memory. Yes, that is Freudian slip now. Error in speech, error in memory, error in physical action. Correct. The term is generally associated with Jung. Wrong. It is Freudian. Parapraxis is Freudian. How many times in YouTube I already said this? To join our criticism and theory course for 1000 rupees only to get lifetime access. You can watch it forever. Just WhatsApp our office and you will get the link immediately. You will get all the PDF also. Okay, I am not trying to cheat you. Princey or somebody who attended it, please tell them, isn't it amazing course? Number is 93878 39871. Yes, It is used in connection, it is used in association with Jung is wrong. The original German word referring to the term is Verletzung, that is correct. Verletzung, that is correct. B and D are correct. I am not cheating you guys. I am only trying to help you. If I give so much free, then what is it I am giving for paid course? You should understand. My paid course, people are not able to attend it live because it's very heavy. If you take the recorded videos, it is better because you can study it so much over the whole lifetime. Now, the epilogue to William Congreve's The Way of the World signals some warnings. What are they? Other there are who malice we would prevent, such who watch plays with scurrilous intent, to mark out who by characters are meant. He's talking about gossiping. These with false glosses feed their own ill nature and turn to libel what was meant a satire. This is the epilogue of Way of the World. Let us see. Critics should always be supportive of the author. Wrong. Critics should always be supportive of the author. That is wrong. Other there are whose malice we would prevent. Critics should curtail the authors. Critics should critique the authors. First one is wrong. Critics should not look for portrait of real people in the play's characters. Yes, and remember that play is a social satire. Correct hai? It is correct. Critics should not look. Array Princey, before GATE last year there were same criticism and theory course. Why didn't you join? Every year, four times I conduct criticism and theory course. You didn't join, what can I do? Now, critics should not look for portrait of real people, and remember it is social satire, correct hai? Critics should avoid writing malicious reviews, lest they are accused of libel. That is also correct. If you read carefully, you will understand. Critics should try to identify the real life equivalent is wrong. D is wrong. Because if B is correct, then D is wrong. If you read carefully, you will understand. Read the following lines and mark your correct observation. Take my shirt off and go in there to do the puja. No thanks. No, not me. But if you go right ahead, if that's what you want to do, give me the matchbox before you go, will you? I'll be out in the courtyard where no one will mind it if I smoke. Take my shirt off and go in there to do the puja. No thanks, not me. But you go right ahead. If that is what you want to do, you can go and do your puja. I am not coming. Give me the matchbox because I want to smoke. That is the poem. Array guys, every year British literature course, non-British literature course, other areas course, criticism course, everything is happening around the year. If you join one time, you can use it forever. Like that it is our courses. More detailed than anything else. Yes, I will share this PDF. The poem is in the form of an ode is wrong. The ode is an address. It is not an ode. The poem is skeptic in nature, correct. Skeptic matlab doubtful. It is not taking it for granted, correct. The poem uses surreal and astonishing images, wrong. The poem expresses a rebellious attitude, correct. Rebellious attitude, correct. Then, array, that is all. We have finished. So, we have done so many questions. Some of these are actually your thinking. It is all about your thinking. Okay? Just relax, study. All of you will become amazing scholars. I know it. I'm sure of it. Don't worry at all. Everything is easy. Net and gate you will pass. Only thing, you should give yourself some time. You should study the correct materials. I don't want to cheat you and get your money or anything. Our courses are all very, very inexpensive compared to what I give you. 30,000 rupees worth material I am giving you for 3,000 rupees. Please join and use it and make your career, build your career. Okay, I don't know. I am growing old. I don't know how long I will be teaching like this. Make hay while the sun shines. Carpe diem. Hai na? So, thank you very much. Good night. See you tomorrow.